A woman's father was brutally murdered on her very birthday. The police's verdict is shocking. The monster who committed the atrocity was her own husband. Don't miss out. A stunning revelation of a family tragedy. Who is the real killer? You are watching Psychic Investigations, a project of exclusively true and astonishing stories. People who call themselves clairvoyants investigate mysterious paranormal phenomena and high-profile criminal cases. Thoughts about her own birthday bring only horror and painful memories to Kiev resident Katerina Petrichenko. 2 years ago, what should have been a simple family celebration ended in the death of her 62-year-old father, Viktor Petrichenko. He was an engineering designer at one of the capital's research institutes.
I was so shocked. Just yesterday, he had been right here, and then such a horrible death.
Right here, on March 3rd, the body of Viktor Petrichenko was discovered with signs of a violent death.
His body was found at 4 a.m. According to the forensics, the man had been strangled.
Cause of death: mechanical asphyxia due to strangulation. Additionally, Viktor Petrichenko's body and face showed numerous injuries: bloody lips and nose, front teeth knocked out, and multiple bruises across his body.
Such a painful death. I miss him so much.
However, 2 weeks later, Katerina suffered another devastating blow. Her husband, Vitali, was arrested for murder.
Vitaly Doroshenko was detained as a suspect in the murder of Viktor Petrichenko. The police claim Doroshenko killed his father-in-law due to personal animosity.
Katerina is a scientist at a governmental research institute. Vitali was a graduate of Kiev Polytechnic Institute, but had recently been working as a taxi driver, operating his own Chevrolet Niva. He and Katerina met on social media, fell in love, and married 3 years ago. The woman insists that Vitali had no reason to kill her father. They never had conflicts.
On July 4th, the case was reclassified, and Vitaly Doroshenko was accused of murder for financial gain. He's allegedly wanted to claim his father-in-law's apartment.
However, according to Katerina, her husband would never have inherited her father's apartment, as the property legally belonged to her mother.
At present, the criminal case against Vitaly Doroshenko is being heard in court. If convicted, he faces a prison sentence of 7 to 15 years.
This is a double tragedy. I want to understand what happened, and why.
On March 2nd, Katerina's father came to visit her to celebrate her birthday. She lived with her husband in the city center. They had tea, ate cake, and listened to music. Around 10 p.m., Vitali left for work, and by 11 p.m., her father had also decided to head home. He always took the metro, so he walked to the nearest station. At 4 a.m., he was found dead just 100 meters away from his home in one of the city's residential districts.
The investigation presents the following theory. Vitali offered to drive his father-in-law home. The older man got into the car, and as they approached his building, a conflict arose, during which Vitali strangled him.
Vitali is now 35 years old. He has spent the last 2 years in pre-trial detention. The man is desperate. He doesn't understand why he's being accused and insists that the last time he saw his father-in-law was when he left home for work that night. Vitali's mother, Olha Doroshenko, also refuses to believe that her son could kill someone. Over the past 2 years, she has cried so much that she barely has the strength left.
My son is under investigation. He didn't do it.
I want justice to prevail, for my husband to be released, and for the real criminals to be found.
Azerbaijani psychic Kayal Alekperov and hereditary shaman Marina Komushku take up the case to find the truth.
Hello.
I'd really like you to help me find my father's murderer.
I'm asking you to help me and my son. He has been detained and accused of murder.
Do you have anything that belonged to your father?
I have his bracelet.
I see the last moments of your father's life,
Suffocation, some kind of rope.
but the rope used to strangle him isn't near the body.
It was supposedly a rope or a wire. The exact details are unknown.
Your father's heart stopped sometime after midnight.
According to the forensics, Viktor Petrichenko's death occurred at approximately 12:15 a.m. on March 3rd.
There's not a single witness. Nobody heard screaming or any suspicious noises.
We need to see the site where he was found.
Yes, okay.
I'm now tuning in to the night your father was murdered. I see you sitting at the table, the three of you, and then Vitali leaves.
Yes, yes.
On the night of March 2nd to 3rd, Vitali left for work at 10 p.m.
On March 2nd, I stood at my porch and saw Vitali, wearing his jacket with a light collar, open his car, turn around, and drive off, alone.
Vitali stopped not far from home.
I feel that both Katerina's husband and father were in the same location.
We found Vitali's colleague who stated that on March 2nd at 10 p.m., Vitali was about 200 meters from the building where he lived with Katerina, not far from the metro station.
The area around the metro station is a lucrative spot for taxi drivers. It's always busy here, meaning more chances to earn. So, could Vitali have anticipated that his father-in-law would take the metro home, so he met him near the metro station, offered him a ride, and then killed him?
I don't see Vitali in the same location as your father. It seems your husband had already left by then. They were in the same place, but at different times.
But the police investigators claim that Vitali killed Viktor. Could Vitali have waited for his father-in-law near his home and strangled him there?
I'm having a vision. People pass by your husband's car. They're wearing blue uniforms. Most likely they're from the police. They are searching Vitali's car, taking notes. And most importantly, they found something. I hear someone shouting, "There's blood here!"
According to the defendant's wife, the car was searched on March 6th. On the left side of the passenger seat's backrest, a blood stain was found. According to forensic examination results, it was the blood of the deceased.
But how did Viktor's blood end up in the car? Unless Vitali really had driven him home. Could Katerina be covering for the murderer? Or is his mother simply unable to believe who her son really is?
Some evidence was found in his clothing.
On March 20th, when Vitaly Doroshenko was detained, his clothing was seized for forensic analysis.
The trousers that were taken from Vitali allegedly also had traces of the victim's blood.
Here, right here, they found a detail that became very important in this case.
20 centimeters from Viktor Petrichenko's head, a 5-centimeter piece of white rope was discovered. On it, there was a brown-colored residue.
According to the forensic experts, it was Vitaly Doroshenko's blood. But how did this small piece of rope end up at the crime scene? And why was Vitali's blood on it? Could it be a fragment of the murder weapon?
I hear accusations against him. And not only him. The victim's daughter is also being blamed. Was she also accused of murdering her father?
The uniformed people are writing something down and repeating, "You killed him. You both killed him."
After her father's death, Katerina was accused of his murder. The claim was that she and her husband had strangled her father and then dumped his body outside the entrance of the building where he lived. And now, Vitali refuses to implicate his wife to avoid receiving a longer sentence for a joint murder.
I see a number of people in the car. They're sprinkling something black inside. Inspecting it.
As soon as the police discovered Viktor Petrichenko's body, they immediately went to see his daughter.
The policeman quickly informed the victim's daughter about the tragic news and began interrogating Katerina and her husband. A few hours later, they searched Vitaly Doroshenko's car, which was parked near the entrance to the building where they lived.
They started rummaging, taking photos. Then they seized the floor mats from under the front seats, took them, and then covered the entire car in black powder. On the 3rd, after they smeared it, we went to the car wash to clean it and wipe off the black dust.
Someone pointed at your husband saying, "He's the murderer." A woman. It's your mother.
Yes.
But she didn't even know your husband's face.
She'd never seen him before. And yet, for some reason, she immediately developed this attitude towards him.
The prosecution's case against Vitaly Doroshenko is based solely on the testimony of Katerina's mother. Katerina's mother is also Katerina. She's convinced that her son-in-law killed her husband. Could she have seen or known something?
This is my mother's apartment.
Who's there?
Salam alaikum.
Hello. What's going on here?
Hello, Psychic Investigations. I'm Kayala Lekperov, and this is Marina Komushku. We're here to talk about your son-in-law.
What son-in-law? He's a damn murderer. He killed my husband. Let Vitali and my daughter hide together. He killed him, assisted by my daughter, who's not here.
No one expected this. The woman doesn't even notice that her own daughter is standing directly in front of her. It turns out that older Katerina has been struggling with alcoholism for years. She lost custody of her daughter when she was little.
Katerina was raised by her parents until she was 4 years old. But then, her mother began drinking heavily. When she lost all control, she was stripped of her parental rights.
Katerina says her mother was gorgeous in her youth. It's no surprise that her father fell in love with her. However, Katerina doesn't remember her mother ever working. A few years into their marriage, she began drinking.
Katerina was raised by her grandparents. Victor was always at work.
Victor inherited the apartment where the family lived from his parents. As a gesture of love, he transferred ownership to his wife. That's why he couldn't just leave her, and he didn't want to. Until his last days, he tried to save the former beauty, who was sinking deeper and deeper into alcoholism.
He tried to help her, but she refused treatment.
I feel sorry for her. I'd like to help, but she doesn't want my help. You saw how she treats me. It's heartbreaking.
I don't need her. That daughter, I don't need her. May she be cursed along with him. That scoundrel belongs in prison for life.
The most horrifying fact is that Vitaly Doroshenko was arrested as the prime suspect solely based on the testimony of the woman who doesn't even recognize her own daughter and has been drinking for over 30 years.
Aside from Katerina's mother, there is no other testimony against Vitali.
I'm speechless. How could the police base the case on this woman's testimony? She doesn't understand what's happening.
It turns out that Vitaly Doroshenko, who has spent the past 2 years in pretrial detention for the alleged murder of his father-in-law, also wrote to the psychics. According to his relatives, investigators have been trying to force a confession out of him, but he refuses to give in.
Vitaly Doroshenko denies any involvement in the crime. According to his family, the police have pressured him to confess.
Vitali filed a complaint with the Kiev prosecutor's office, stating that he had been subjected to torture and other unlawful interrogation methods.
The prosecutor's office investigated his complaint, but found no grounds to open a criminal case.
I'm seeing images from the night Victor died. Your son is in a strange place. I see a large table covered with multicolored balls.
According to the suspect's wife, on the night of March 2nd to 3rd, her husband was in a cafe in one of the city's residential areas, where he was playing billiards with his friend.
Katerina says her husband worked throughout the city. Sometimes, when he had no clients, he would wait at cafes. That's what he did on the night of March 2nd to 3rd. After dropping off the passenger in the sleeping area, he waited for the next call at the cafe.
That night, I met with my classmates around 11 p.m. About an hour and a half later, Vitali arrived. We started playing pool.
But if Viktor Petrichenko's death occurred after midnight, and by 12:30 a.m. Vitali was at the cafe, could he have killed his father-in-law?
He stayed with us for about an hour and a half, and then he left.
But if that's the case, then how did Viktor's blood end up in Vitali's car?
The blood was found after the car had been washed. Several days later,
The first inspection of the car took place on March 3rd, right after the murder. No stains or traces of blood were found at that time. Blood traces in the car were discovered only on March 7th. But according to official records, Victor's blood sample was collected on March 6th. That coincidence seems very strange to me.
On March 6th, they took a blood sample from my father's body. And on the 7th, blood stains appeared in Vitali's car and on his clothes.
his clothes were taken away clean, and later they turned up covered in blood. But the blood wasn't fresh, it was planted.
The suspect's trousers, which allegedly had traces of the victim's blood, were seized from Vitali on March 20th, the day of his arrest. However, it is strange that, on the night of Viktor Petrichenko's death, the suspect was wearing different pants. This was confirmed by surveillance footage from the cafe.
And the piece of rope found here, with traces of your husband's blood, it seems to disappear later. How is that possible?
The defense requested an expert analysis to determine the murder weapon. The investigation denied the request, without explanation.
You mentioned the piece of rope earlier, and now it turns out nothing can be determined from it. Only fibers remain.
But wasn't the suspect's blood allegedly found on that piece of rope? Did the police deliberately destroy the only evidence linking Vitali to the crime scene? Why would they do that?
During court proceedings, all evidence must be preserved. The rope fragment was a crucial piece of evidence. Destroying it is illegal.
When the rope fragment was discovered, the investigation report initially didn't mention any stains or traces. Only later was it allegedly found to contain Doroshenko's blood. However, the fragment has now been destroyed on the chief investigator's order.
I'm receiving an image of your father walking. From that direction. I don't see him riding in a car.
The police dog at the crime scene picked up a trail that confirmed the victim had not traveled by car. He had arrived by metro. The dog followed the trail to the metro station.
He's innocent. Your son did not kill anyone.
This is a setup. The police believed your mother's testimony.
No matter how I feel about her, she's still my mother. But her inability to understand the situation has brought so much pain. It's heartbreaking. I hope she realizes the truth.
But if Vitali is innocent, why has he been kept behind bars for 2 years?
There's an arrest placed on this property. Everything is in limbo. Could this be some kind of scheme? Tell me, how was my father killed?
There was more than one killer, nothing was planned.
He emerged as if from underground, most likely from the metro. To the right, there is another archway. He usually passed through it to get to his entrance. But that night, someone was there. 2 young men. Your father got scared and walked further. He sped up, but the men ran after him. Right here, they attacked him. threw a rope around his neck, one strangling while the other rummaged through his pockets. First, a blow to the face, and after he lost balance, they tightened the cord around his neck.
Then they ran away.
They wanted to rob your father. Something went missing.
When Viktor Petrichenko's body was discovered, his wallet, which according to Katerina, contained about 800 hryvnias, and his pension certificate were missing.
This wasn't their first robbery. They had attacked others in this same area before.
In the archways, you walk in with a bag and they watch you, or they lurk near the playground. The moment you enter the archway, one rushes out and grabs your bag, or your earrings, or your necklace. It happens constantly. Just recently, they robbed someone and stripped them near the first entrance.
I want to express my deepest gratitude.
A sensational investigation into the series of bizarre crimes. Who's murdering women of the small town? Don't miss it out. The psychics will come to the place where the murderer lives. In this episode, the psychics were approached by the relatives of Svetlana Mikno from Ukraine. On the 15th of August, 2013, some monster stabbed her to death right in the downtown.
The forensic examination found that the victim received 5 knife wounds. The first stab into the lung was fatal, while the other 4 were done after the woman was dead.
The body of the 33-year-old Svetlana Mikno was found at 7 in the morning, not far from the building in which she rented an apartment. The day before that, the young woman had gone to visit her friend, who lives down the street. She'd brought presents for the woman's son, her godson. She left them late at night, but she never came home.
She was lying here, right on this spot. But the police forbade me to approach her. She was lying covered with a blanket. There was a large pool of blood next to her head.
It was a resonant murder. The investigation involved dozens of police personnel, police dogs, and forensic experts. The investigators conducted inquiries with all potential witnesses.
It was summer. Everyone had their windows wide open because of the heat, but nobody saw or heard anything.
No traces of sexual violence were found on the woman's body. None of her belongings were missing.
She was murdered for nothing. It wasn't a robbery or anything. I simply don't understand it.
According to the police, the young woman was not in debt or had any enemies.
Svetlana was an accountant at one of the local supermarkets. She had divorced her husband 6 years earlier. She had a daughter, Elisa. The loss of her closest friend was devastating to the girl.
First, we told her that her mom had an accident and was in the hospital. But then we still had to tell her the truth.
It's been almost 3 years now, but the girl's pain hasn't passed yet. It's still hard for 14-year-old Elisa to accept her mother's death.
She can't be at the cemetery. Every time we go there, she's hysterical. Once, when we went there, she almost fainted. She said she wanted to remember her mom alive.
The police never found the bloody murderer.
I would really appreciate it if the psychics could help me find her murderer. I want that person to be punished for what they did.
Famous psychics Jana Shulakova and Yaroslava Fedorova set out to find the murderer.
Once I started working on the photo, I immediately had a vision. It was some kind of brawl. It involved young women humiliating, tormenting, and beating someone. But I didn't see the victim. It could be her.
What does it mean? Could some young women have been involved in Svetlana's murder?
The cards tell me to search for a woman in a window.
The clairvoyants went to the place where the victim's relatives live. Svetlana's sister and mother are waiting for them there, together with the locals, who have been living in fear for their own lives since the moment of the murder.
The people are here to learn the truth.
Please help us. We will be deeply grateful.
May I hold your hand? I am sorry, Mom. I wanted to buy flowers, roses, but I was too late.
Yes.
Svetlana was going to give her mother a bouquet of 55 roses as a birthday present for her jubilee. However, the celebration never happened. 2 weeks before her birthday, the mother had to take flowers to her daughter's grave.
She's grateful to you. She says you took her daughter.
It's true, indeed.
Natalia, Svetlana's sister, has no children of her own, so Alisa, her niece, became a daughter for her.
I have taken custody of my niece because she's my family.
Svetlana's daughter isn't here. The girl has been through a lot, so her relatives don't want to traumatize her even more.
Alisa wrote a note, and I keep it. Today, on the 15th of August, my dear mommy was murdered. I have no mommy now.
But who took the girl's mother's life?
A man who was around her was blamed. This man had brought her much suffering.
Dimitro, the man she lived with.
Several years after the divorce, Svetlana started a new relationship. She and Dimitro lived as cohabitants for a year.
Did he hurt her?
They had been quarreling lately.
It's weird, but Yaroslava Fedorova is looking back all the time. What is going on? Who or what did she see?
She wanted to leave him, didn't she?
He threatened her.
There were threats.
He told her she wouldn't live with anybody else but him.
This is insane. Could Svetlana's cohabitant have killed her?
Did the police check him well?
They said he couldn't have done it.
The law enforcers checked Svetlana's cohabitant's alibi. The witnesses confirmed he was home on the night of the murder.
Yaroslava, where are you going?
The woman is calling me. Somebody else was murdered here. There are bloodstains here. One stab, and then another. She didn't expect it. She turns around, sees the person, and says, "What are you doing? Why?"
My name is Olena. My mother was murdered here. She was waiting for me.
It turned out that a year after Svetlana Mikno's murder, in 2014, another murder happened in the town. The 45-year-old Marina Kolokayeva was stabbed to death near the building where she lived. She took 5 stabs.
I see her in some kind of fair suit with a pattern of big, bright flowers.
We buried her in that suit.
Your hands are in blood. Your hands are in blood. What does it mean?
Give me your hand. There was an argument. Then he left, pissed. I only hear shouting.
Serhiy is the deceased Marina's husband. That day, they both went to his father's birthday. On their way home, they had a quarrel. The man hurried home. Marina stayed in the courtyard to wait for her daughter, who was coming home after visiting her friends. It was midnight, but nobody could even imagine what happened after that.
I was in the bathroom when I heard Marina's scream. She shouted, "What are you doing?" And then, after it, "Serhiy, help!"
Serhiy, help! And then there were screams. I heard them on the second floor. When I ran out, I saw Marina.
The first thing I heard when I opened the car door was yelling. When I approached, I saw Mom. She was lying next to the entrance door, under the entry phone. My stepdad was squatting next to her. Mom was covered in blood, and she was lying in a pool of blood.
She was rasping. I thought her throat was cut. I pressed it with my hand and began giving her artificial respiration. I was telling her, breathe, breathe, breathe. Marina died in my arms.
Serhiy is a rescuer at a mine. However, he failed to rescue his wife. He can't forgive himself for the quarrel and leaving Marina alone in the yard.
I can't live with it. I didn't want to speak to anybody. It was so stupid. I simply sat at home and cried all the time.
The strangest thing is that this inhumane crime had no motive either. Her belongings remained intact. No traces of sexual violence were found. The woman had never mentioned any conflicts with any of her colleagues or friends.
Behind this guy, I saw a woman. She is dead.
Is she your mother?
Yes, she was my mother. She was murdered too.
This is inconceivable. It's the third victim, and she's also a woman.
The 46-year-old Irina Danalia was found murdered in the summer of 2015. She was stabbed 13 times. And once again, it wasn't a robbery or rape.
Irina Danalia went to visit her elderly mom, who was sick, and stayed at hers until late at night. Irina was divorced, and she lived with her younger son, who was 16 then. Her elder son lived separately with his own family.
My younger brother called me and said our mom was murdered. I asked him, "What? How?" I ran there immediately. I don't even remember putting on clothes. My brother was hysterical. He was crying and saying he didn't save mom. He said she was calling him for help. She shouted out, "Help!" By the time he ran out, she was dead.
At that moment, I saw a figure behind the bars and 2 scales. They were the scales of justice. Somebody was suspected in this murder, and they were detained and tried.
There is a suspect in the case. He's in prison now.
The 38-year-old Artem Henilitsky, a local resident, was arrested on suspicion of murdering Irina Danalia. He was a specialist in measuring devices at an agricultural firm.
However, the murderers of Svetlana and Marina, the first 2 victims, were never found, and we needed to proceed with the investigation. When I look into your daughter's eyes, I clearly see a man. I think we must go to the site where she was murdered.
The psychics go to the site where, almost 3 years ago, the terrible murder of Svetlana Mikno happened, and the families and friends of the other victims go with them.
It's dark, and I can hear a bubbling sound. She can't shout or say anything.
She's choking on blood.
If the clairvoyant's assertions are true, then it's clear why there were no witnesses to the heinous crime. The victim didn't have a chance to shout out.
He had been following her for a long time. He was chasing her as if he were following her trace.
Zhana Shulikova takes her pendulum. Where will it bring the psychics?
She looks at the murderer.
Are the psychics walking towards the place where the mysterious murderer ran afterward?
He's walking and mumbling to himself. She received what she deserved.
Finally, the bitch received what she deserved. They're all the same.
The murderer is over there.
This is the place where the murderer lives.
The pendulum brought us there. The cards showed that door. Hello.
The psychics had felt that the murderer was a man. However, a woman opened the door.
Do you live here?
Well, yes.
There's a murderer behind this door.
I don't get it.
Where is the man? He lives in this apartment.
He's in prison.
Is he being tried?
Yes, the investigation is underway. He was arrested for a murder in 2015 on the 9th of July.
So he's a suspect of the murder that happened in 2015. What was the woman's name?
I think Irina.
She was the mother of this young man.
This is unbelievable. Does it mean that, while searching for the murderer of the first victim, the clairvoyants found themselves at the place where the man who is suspected of killing the third victim lives? Was it the same person who killed all the 3 women?
I called an ambulance because he had a wound.
It turned out that in the summer of 2015, Svetlana's husband, Artem, came home bloodied and with a deep wound. He said he'd been attacked by somebody. The woman called the ambulance. Artem was taken to the hospital where the police arrested him.
The examination revealed that the blood found on the man's clothes was the victim's.
However, the authorities didn't charge him for the previous 2 murders. Might the psychics have made a mistake?
Do you think he didn't do what they claim he did?
I'm absolutely sure he didn't murder anybody because he's not a murderer.
This is very cruel, especially given that he himself has a child.
He's a calm and quiet man. All his friends, everybody says he wouldn't hurt a fly.
He couldn't chop a chicken. How could he kill those women?
I must be 100% certain he is the murderer, or 100% certain he isn't.
The clairvoyants and the suspect's wife go outside. Svetlana is certain the psychics will help her sort it out and prove that her husband is innocent.
Go away.
Why are you telling me to go away?
She knew everything. I'm sure she did. She was simply protecting her husband.
I don't think he's guilty. Everybody has husbands, and every wife will defend her husband.
But why were we brought to your place?
We've got to check it.
We can't blame a person for nothing. It's easy to point your finger at someone, but if you claim something, it must be supported by evidence.
To sort it all out, the clairvoyants decided to visit the site where the third victim, Irina Danelia, was murdered.
If he really did it, I want him to spend his life in prison.
Blood. Everything is in blood.
She was walking from there. Cut fingers.
Her fingers were cut.
She resisted.
I know Mom fought.
From over there. He watched you find her as she watched, the mother choking on her own blood. Fear and pain in the arms of her son, a beast. He was following her. So he watched.
Here's the window. A woman looking out of the window.
I realized it was the woman in the window that the cards showed me in the morning. She'd seen the murderer and his victim from the window of the store she works at. Did you see her?
Yes, I said hello because I knew her well.
Was she followed? By a tall, slender man?
I saw him clearly. It was Artem Hnilitsky.
Svetlana? Then why did you tell us it wasn't him?
The same man murdered Svetlana and Marina. Zhana's pendulum brought us from the site of the first victim's death to the murderer of the third victim. His wife claimed he was innocent, but then we made certain he was the murderer.
It turns out that the man who is suspected of Irina Danelia's murder, Artem Hnilitsky, killed all 3 of them.
As a beast that tasted blood, first, second, third, and the interval between the murders is almost identical, and he even did it at the same time of the day.
At that moment, I saw all the 3 women. These were the spirits of the victims. Suddenly, another woman appeared next to them. She looked terrible. She was cut and covered in blood. I couldn't believe it. It meant that there was another, 4th victim.
Who was the 4th woman?
His mother-in-law.
He killed his mother-in-law, her mother, and she's defending him. This is 100% truth. Everybody knows it.
What makes you think he murdered her?
Because the court ruled so.
Had he been previously tried as a murderer?
This is impossible to comprehend. Did the man kill his mother-in-law before he committed the 3 awful murders?
She humiliated him when they all lived together. He's not a match for you. Why did you choose him? Look at this idiot, Svetlana. Did she tell you these things?
She did.
She was provoking him.
He put up with it for a long time, but then he lost control. He didn't understand what he was doing. He murdered her.
In 2011, Artem Hanilitsky was sentenced for the murder of his mother-in-law. The woman received 15 stab wounds. The court acknowledged the fact that the crime was committed in the heat of passion. 18 months later, the man was granted amnesty.
But Svetlana refused to believe her husband had murdered her mother. He's being tried currently, and she has sold everything she could to hire the best lawyer for him.
When I look at him, he looks back at me with this face, and I can't help laughing. He's so kind and calm. I could always talk to him about anything.
How could you? You knew he'd murdered already. How could you defend him and claim he was incapable of murder?
I swear I didn't know it was him. I didn't believe it.
This man's mother-in-law was an authoritarian woman. After he murdered her, he changed. He felt he had the power. I got revenge on one of them, and now I can get revenge on all of them. At that moment, my morning vision returned. Some kind of brawl. Young women are involved in it. They humiliate, torment, and beat somebody. And then I saw who they were beating. It was a teenage boy. It was the murderer in his youth.
The girls bullied him all the time. They surrounded him and kicked him. It happened when he studied at the college.
Now all the puzzles have fallen into place. He has had mental problems ever since he was young, resentment and anger towards women. So, the humiliations from his mother-in-law became a trigger.
Please, people, don't be mad at me. I swear I didn't know. And I'm terribly sorry that it happened. I am so sorry.
What matters most is that he was punished.
Thank you so much.
We're so grateful. We heard what we wanted to hear.
We waited for 3 years. You helped us a lot. Thank you.
I'm shocked. How dared he? I didn't believe it. I couldn't believe it until the last moment. What a cruel thing he did to my mom and those people. What did they do to him? I don't get it.
It is astonishing how bullying in his youth and humiliations in family life made a cruel maniac out of a timid young man. Horrifying revenge from the other world. Who and why stole a dead man's heart? Don't miss out. The psychics will solve a murderous mystery. Ivana Balyan from Western Ukraine is asking the psychics for help. Her only daughter, Diana, died in November 2019.
I wish I could see her for at least half an hour. I wish I could at least hug her.
The girl mysteriously died on the last Friday of fall. Deanna and her mother lived in a private house. It was a usual day. Deanna came back from school, fed her hamster, did her homework, and then decided to take a bath.
She went to bathe as usual, and I went to bring firewood.
The mother was out for 20 minutes at most. But when she got back, she smelled gas leaking and rushed to the gas water heater in the bathroom. Her daughter never locked the door.
This is where the water heater was. I was shocked, but I saw the gas wasn't burning. I turned it off, shouting, "Diana, turn off the water. The heater went out."
When the woman turned around, she saw her daughter lying unconscious in the bath. The frightened mother pulled her out of the bath and tried to revive her, but her daughter wasn't breathing.
I started doing her artificial respiration, but she wasn't reacting, so I immediately rushed out of the house to get help from the neighbor, who is a doctor.
Another neighbor, a nurse, came running upon hearing the mother's cries. They tried giving Deanna CPR, but it didn't work.
I fell to my knees in the hallway, praying fervently to God not to take her away. She was my everything, and I begged him to spare her. I called the ambulance at 7:28 p.m., and it arrived by 7:50, but the medics immediately said there was nothing they could do. She was gone. When I heard it, I fainted.
By that moment, the wife of Ivana's brother had also come. The woman lives on the same street. The horrific scene still haunts her.
When I entered the house, I couldn't believe my eyes. I thought there was still a chance to revive her.
Ivana was just sitting on the floor, not understanding what was happening. She was trembling all over, repeating, "What will I do without her? I only lived for her."
Ivana raised Diana on her own ever since the girl was born. Her relationship with her daughter's father soured, so her daughter was her sole joy in life.
My life is over. I can't imagine my life without my baby.
According to the forensic experts, the cause of the fifth grader's death was carbon monoxide poisoning. The official version states that the tragedy occurred due to a malfunction in the water heater. However, the experts who came to retrieve the device for examination insisted that gas couldn't have leaked.
The heater was all right. The investigators checked it in my presence. When the fire goes out, it blocks the gas automatically.
The mysterious death of 11-year-old Diana came as a shock to everyone.
You know what was the worst thing? Seeing her in the coffin. She lied there like a little princess. I could never even imagine her in a coffin.
The mother and family all agree that something supernatural caused Diana to die. Ivana recalls that shortly before her daughter's death, she saw something strange in the bathroom window.
Something black was climbing in through the window. It looked like long male arms. I got scared terribly and closed the window and ran to Diana. She was in her room, and we just lay down and slept.
However, that night, Ivana had a nightmare in which she saw her daughter dead.
I ran up to her, and she was lying there with blood on her lips. I cried bitterly.
Lately, the girl had become afraid of something. Ivana works as a confectioner at a candy manufacturing company and occasionally does night shifts. Diana had never had problems with staying home alone. Ivana's brother, who lives nearby, would look after her. However, a few days before her death, Diana asked her mother not to leave her alone at night.
She said, "Mom, don't go for the night shift, especially the night shift." I asked why, and she said, "Mom, I want you to be home. I'm scared," but she didn't say why.
But what shocked Ivana most of all was a dream that the wife of one of her brothers had right after the funeral.
There was something like a palace with grand corridors, and there an awful man lay in a coffin. His hair, his face, everything was black. I told him, "You killed her. Her death is your fault. It happened because of you."
And a few days ago, Ivana's another sister-in-law also had a nightmare. It was about her own little daughter, who was only a year and a half old.
There was a coffin on the table, and she was lying there, alive. She was sleeping in that coffin. I woke up in such terror.
Ivana has 9 siblings, and each of them has children of their own. The entire family is in terror, as their sons and daughters might be next.
I really want the psychics to come.
My only and greatest hope is that the psychics will come and help me.
Our experts in mystical matters, Zhana Shulakova and Rubina Tsibulska, responded to the family's call for help.
Diana's death has something to do with a secret. I had a dream last night. There was a building with huge windows, and the girl was running up the stairs, weeping, and a dead man stood up there. He took her hand and started saying something to me, but I couldn't make out his words. I only heard, "Because of the mother."
Did a spirit take Diana because of her mother?
I don't know. I'd like to see who he is. The man is searching for his heart.
Where is his heart?
Someone stole it.
Ivana goes out to meet the clairvoyance with Lyudmila, the wife of one of her brothers.
Hello.
We're happy that you're here.
We're deeply sorry.
She was everything to me. She was my whole life. I just hope you can tell me why she left this life so soon.
My mirror is showing me that your daughter's death was no coincidence. It was indeed provoked by some kind of supernatural force.
I see a night, a little bed, and the girl sleeping in it. There's a man's spirit next to her. I saw the man earlier. He's the dead man who is looking for his heart. and he tells her, "I'll come for you soon." And then she wakes up, terrified.
Who is that man? Why did his spirit come?
Look, the cards are showing me a broken heart. I felt that someone's love caused the appearance of the sinister spirit. The love was condemned. If only we had known what hatred and cruelty we would have to hear about. Can we come into the house?
We would like to tune into Diana's energy there.
Please come in.
Your daughter is still alive to you.
Yes. I'd love her to be alive and be here with me.
This photo, the photo feels like it's breathing. She took this photo shortly before her death.
Yes, it was taken on Friday morning. She came home from school and said, "Mom, take a picture to remember."
And she really wanted it to snow.
Yes.
When I see the snow, it started
after her death, during the funeral.
Then it snowed heavily.
Wait. The girl is here. I see her.
I felt a severe coldness run through my arm.
I was searching for her with my eyes, hoping to at least touch her.
Who took you? She's standing and looking at you, Ivana. And she says, "It was all because of me." She blames herself.
What does she mean?
I don't feel her anymore. She's gone.
Could we bring her back?
We need something that belonged to your daughter.
That's her sleeping gown. It still bears her scent, a child's scent.
The thing that happened to Deanna is somehow connected to your family.
I see a deceased family member.
My mother passed away.
Ivana's mother died in 2015 from a blood clot. Ivana is the youngest of the 10 children in her family. Most of her brothers and sisters have their own families and all live separately. Some nearby, others in villages nearby, and some emigrated and live abroad. Ivana, however, stayed with her parents her whole life and was very close to them. Her father died from cancer, and then her mother fell ill. Ivana took care of her day and night.
Oddly enough, I was convinced that the man's spirit took the girl. Suddenly, I saw those stairs from my dream again. Diana was climbing them, and at the top, the dead man without the heart stood. It felt like he was waiting for the girl in his palace.
A palace. I had a dream of a grand palace, and a man lying in a coffin in it. And I said, "You killed her. You took her from us. It's your fault."
This palace. It's real.
There is such a place here. It's the Lankaronsky Palace. It used to belong to a great count, but it's in ruins now. We even used to go for walks there with Diana.
Let's go there, let's go.
Ivana's brother Stepan, who lives nearby, accompanies the psychics there. This mansion was built in the 18th century and belonged to the Polish noble family of the Jawuski-Lankaronsky. Sadly, this unique structure is now neglected. Lydia, the wife of Ivana's other brother, joins the party there.
I saw the very palace I described. I hear footsteps, the spirit of the dead. Man without the heart walks around this building.
My mirror showed me that the man lived there with his family long ago. He, his wife, many children. It was a big, happy family. They loved one another very much. His whole family is now in the other world, and only his spirit haunts this place.
I have a feeling he's looking for this heart. Someone stole it.
His body is buried in the cemetery, but it seems his heart is somewhere else.
Later, we asked the experts about the man with the stolen heart that the clairvoyants sensed.
it is likely that we're talking about the Polish nobleman Michał Józef Żywuski, who built this palace. At that time, it was a custom among Polish nobility to bury the body in the cemetery and the heart separately in the church. According to historical sources, the nobleman's heart was long kept in the local Catholic church, but during Soviet times, it was looted, and the urn with Rzewuski's heart, unfortunately, disappeared.
The man is searching for his heart everywhere, and he naturally comes here because it's his home.
The cards see no connection between Diana and the spirit of the man without the heart. But it's still he who took her to the other world.
What's going on? The door opened itself.
Is Diana's spirit here?
Yes. She says, I've been here before, I've walked here, there's no one's here. She's standing somewhere here, on the staircase, and she's sad. She seems to say she doesn't want to live.
She never told me that.
I heard it once. Probably it was because of strong emotions, for I don't get it why she even thought that.
She says, I don't want my mom to be insulted. Mom is suffering because she gave birth to me. What is that supposed to mean?
Yes, it's true. Nobody loved her in my family. Everyone always insulted her.
Why?
What was the reason for that?
It so happened that I got pregnant and birthed her without the father.
The man Ivana dated was 13 years older than her. And on top of that, he was divorced. It was unacceptable in her family. So, Ivana kept their relationship secret. Later, her boyfriend went to work abroad, and Ivana found out she was pregnant. She was 19.
When he returned, I told him I was pregnant, but he told me to do a DNA test. I just opened the door and said, "Get out of the house and never come back." During the final months of pregnancy, my eldest brother repeated to Dad all the time, "She brought shame on our family. Everyone is talking what a disgrace it is. We're ashamed to even go out into town."
The child was a shame.
I don't think so.
But everyone said that. Well, almost everyone.
It turned out that 4 of Ivana's eldest brothers and sisters turned their backs on Ivana after Diana was born. The age gap between her and them was almost 20 years, and their views on life always differed greatly.
It was a shock for them. Everyone interfered in her life, saying who she should be with and who she shouldn't, what she should do, and how she should do it. But there is no shame in that because, first of all, it's her child, and second, she was an adult back then and could do whatever she pleased.
They didn't consider Diana as a family member. None of the older siblings did. They constantly insulted and offended Ivana, and Diana heard all those nasty things. I couldn't understand why they were doing this. So, seeing all this, Diana thought her mother suffered because of her.
She would tell me, "Mommy, why do they all argue with you because of me? Why do they always insult you?"
What's wrong about giving birth without a father? What's their business anyway?
In June, Diana was in Poland visiting my middle sister Oleksandra, and my older sister pinched her and said, "Why did you, a bastard, come here?"
It's horrible. How could an adult person say such things to a child?
She said, "All the problems in our family are because of you."
I see another man. He's dark-haired and tall. He's about 40 years old. He also mistreated your daughter.
It's Ihor.
Also your brother?
Yes. He once told her, "Do you at least know who your prostitute mother birthed you from?"
Did he say this to your daughter?
Yes.
Oh God. For 11 years, Ivana heard accusations and insults, and her daughter heard them too. But according to my feelings, there was a moment when she was fed up. I checked the situation through the fire and saw that it was connected to the house where Ivana lives.
The real war started after our mother died, and they found out that she bequeathed the house to me.
I hear someone say that you are not worthy to own it.
My brother Taras always told me this. "Are you going to live with your bastard in that big house? Don't you think there's too much space there for you two?"
It's horrible.
And most of them couldn't accept the fact that I inherited the house.
Their mother left a will, but none of them had suspected it. When they found out after her death, a nightmare began.
There was a huge fight over the house among everyone. They barely started beating one another. They all have their own families and their own houses, but still everyone wanted that house. Its walls shook because of their constant quarrels.
They said that unless I refused from that house, they would strip me of my maternal rights. 9 days after Mom's death, they took my daughter away and said they would put her in an orphanage.
Your parents left the house to you because they knew if they didn't do it, your siblings would send you to live on the streets.
And they would have done so if the parents had not left the house to her, that's guaranteed.
I see your daughter stand looking out of the window and crying. In my head, I heard the girl's words. I can't take this anymore. I don't want to see or hear them. Mom suffers because of me. It would be better if I didn't exist. But she doesn't see that there, behind the trees, the dead man stands. He hears her, and he sees how she suffers.
He felt very sorry for the girl, and he decided to take her to the other world, to his family, where everything was different. It was him that Ivana saw in the bathroom window. He took her daughter away from her cruel relatives because he couldn't bear to see the child's tears. I have just one question. Was this what your siblings wanted? Did they feel any better after the girl they didn't want was finally gone?
She's here. If you want to say something, she is standing right here and listening.
Diana, our little girl, we're so sorry we failed to protect you.
I love you very, very much. And I want to hug you and kiss you.
I see her hand combing through your hair. And she's fixing it gently.
Putting it behind my ears.
Do you feel it, right?
I do. I felt my daughter. Her touch. She always fixed my hair behind my ears. I felt her warmth. I felt much better.
Above all, Diana wants you to live and be happy.
Diana, I promise I will live for you. I promise.
You know, I see that you will have another child, just as your daughter always wanted. You're only 30. You still have a life to live. It's time to let Diana go. And I hope that your family will find the dignity to come to Diana's grave, to at least apologize to her.
Thank you so much.
But we still had unfinished business. We had to release the spirit of the owner of the estate.
We sent him to the other world to watch over the girl.
Unbelievable. The girl lost her life because of terrible family quarrels. A pregnant woman's mysterious death in an elevator. Why is the victim's mother receiving calls from beyond the grave? Don't miss it. Psychics will uncover the truth behind this fatal murder. Yana was the most radiant bride in their entire university class. Dimitro adored her, carrying her in his arms, a romance envied by all her friends. Their loved ones celebrated their wedding, wishing them years of happiness. Their parents dreamed of grandchildren. No one could have imagined that in just 1 year, they would all reunite again, this time for a funeral.
I just couldn't believe it.
The horrifying incident made headlines across all media. The sheer senselessness of the tragedy left people in shock. Elevator kills pregnant woman. A horrifying tragedy in a residential building in Zaporizhia. A pregnant woman was trapped and crushed between floors. The bride's mother, Olha Kravets, is searching for just one answer. Why did her beloved daughter Yana have to die such a sudden and horrific death?
The autopsy determined that the cause of death was injuries incompatible with life.
Jana was 5 months pregnant. She went out to buy some fruit and was on her way home. In broad daylight, she and her unborn child were crushed by an elevator.
She approached the elevator, pressed the call button, and waited. When the elevator arrived, the doors opened. She stepped inside. At that moment, the doors began to close, trapping Jana's body. Simultaneously, the cabin started moving upward.
It trapped her on the left side.
As the elevator moved up, she was pinned between the cabin and the shaft wall. She suffered a traumatic brain injury, multiple fractured ribs, a broken pelvis, and shattered limbs.
The doctor said death was instantaneous.
I spoke with her on the phone the day she died. She told me she had just had an ultrasound. It was a boy. She could already feel him moving.
Her little boy is here with her. He was already so big. They told me at the morgue he fit in the palm of a hand, like a tiny doll.
Her loved ones refused to believe such a horrific death was an accident. Moreover, after Jana's passing, strange things started happening.
The police conducted multiple inspections of the elevator, but they didn't have a camera, so we took photos ourselves. When I was going through them, I saw one frame, something strange, almost like a silhouette.
Her older brother couldn't believe his eyes when he saw the photos.
You can clearly see the outline of a face, and well, we didn't capture anything like that.
To her loved ones, it seemed like Jana's spirit had appeared.
You can distinctly make out the shape of a head, the forehead, the eyes.
And the following night, something truly paranormal happened.
In the middle of the night, the phone rings. Not an alarm, not a ringtone, an actual incoming call. Someone is calling me. I pick up. No one's there. No number either. It just says unknown.
And it happened every night. At first, it seemed like someone's cruel prank, but each time the phone rang, she felt something, or someone, sitting down on her bed.
I can almost hear her breathing. I feel like she's right next to me.
The mother is convinced her daughter is trying to send a message from the other side about her tragic death.
About 2 weeks before she died, we were having tea. She asked me, "Mom, why is my lifeline so short?" I told her, "Jana, don't pay attention to that."
Sadly, nothing can be changed now, but the mother refuses to believe that her daughter's death was just a coincidence.
I just want to know why Jana. Why did she step into that elevator at that exact moment?
The investigation into this horrific tragedy is led by experts from our project, clairvoyants Sofia Litvinova and Jana Shulikova.
A man is approaching me, a man I love deeply. He's showing me that this death is because of me. It's retribution.
I sense the suffering of a young man here. Bitterness, pain, torment.
It seems the clairvoyants have felt the energy of Dimitro, the deceased woman's husband. He is struggling with the tragedy so much that he still barely communicates with anyone.
He's withdrawn into himself. I tell him, "Dimitro, you need to live on. You need to live for both of you." He says, "I'm not ready for a serious relationship." Hello, my name is Olha. I turned to you for help to understand why my daughter died.
The first name that came to me was Anna.
Anna is the baptized name of Jana.
I had the feeling that I was seeing this square through different eyes. It was as if I was sitting on a bench, and a man I loved dearly was walking towards me.
Dimitro. They met right here, near the lover's clock.
What troubles me is the strong bond that still holds him. He doesn't allow himself to live. He shuts himself off from the world.
He made her a promise that he wouldn't be with anyone else. Yana's spirit worries about her husband. She doesn't want Dimitro to suffer. She says he is free and must move on.
It's rare to find such deep, powerful feelings between people these days. Such love. And I felt that the first person Yana's spirit told about her death was her husband.
Dimitri said, "Right before you called me, a black cat jumped on me." That was the exact time when Yana had already died.
I keep seeing something with wings flapping like a rag, a window. It got stuck there, struggling. I don't know what it means.
A bat flew into our window. It came in through the vent and got trapped between the window panes. It kept scratching with its claws. We spent about an hour and a half trying to get it out.
When a bird or a bat flies into a home, it's a harbinger of death. In this family's case, the creature got trapped between the window panes, just like Yana was trapped in the elevator.
Mysterious photos taken in the elevator after Yana's death, strange phone calls to her mother, and other worldly presence in the apartment, and inexplicable signs surrounding the young woman's tragic passing. What does it all mean?
It felt like someone had been watching Yana. I sensed a gaze on her just before her death, a sinister, chilling gaze, the gaze of someone who wanted to take her life.
When I tuned into the girl's energy, I felt that death had been following her every step.
Death was always close to her. Once near our house, we almost got hit by a car. Luckily, the driver saw us just in time and braked. One of her friends took her for a boat ride. Sometime later, he died. Another gave her a ride on his motorcycle. He also died not long after.
Yana had some kind of secret that she took with her, and it was connected to her death. She is trying to reveal it to her loved ones, but they don't understand her.
One day, on the 9th day after Yana's death, I was in the elevator with her godmother. And the moment I remembered that it was the anniversary of her passing, the elevator stopped. We couldn't reach the dispatcher or anyone for a long time. We were terrified.
What exactly is Yana trying to communicate from the other side? Will her mother learn the secret of her death today?
I have a feeling she had a panic-stricken fear.
She was afraid of elevators. She feared enclosed spaces.
She was afraid of all elevators.
She took the stairs more often.
Even while pregnant, Yana would walk up to the 4th floor, where her family lived. But why, on that terrible day, did the girl who feared elevators step into one?
We need to see the place where she died.
The psychics head to the building where Olha lives. That's where she found her pregnant daughter dead.
She went in here, but she never came out. Yes. Oh, Mother.
She was pulled from the 1st floor to the 2nd, and Dimitro and I were the first to find her.
Her mother replays that dreadful day over and over in her mind. The day she lost her daughter. Everything was as usual. Nothing foretold disaster. That morning, Olha and her son-in-law left for work. Yana stayed home alone. Throughout the day, her mother called several times to check on her. But around noon, no one picked up.
Around 12:10, the phone went unanswered. As if some force wouldn't let me call. As if it blocked me from reaching her.
Pain. So much pain. Oh, no. No one could have saved her.
They say there was a scream. A scream and then silence. But none of the neighbors came until we arrived and found her.
Empty entrance. The phone is ringing. In the silence, the phone is ringing.
Dimitro and I kept calling. They say the phone was ringing non-stop.
Jana's mother and husband kept calling again and again, but it was in vain. A sixth sense told the mother she needed to rush home immediately. Jana's husband hurried there as well.
We arrived almost at the same time, you could say. We ran up the stairs. I heard someone was stuck in the elevator. We rushed home, but she wasn't there. I said, "Dimitro, it's fine. She must be in the elevator."
The woman couldn't even imagine that her daughter was no longer alive.
We went down to the second floor. Dimitro easily pulled open the first set of doors. The elevator doors weren't closed, and Jana was lying there. We rushed to her.
What the mother saw was shocking.
We tried to lift her, but we couldn't. We would have had to take the elevator apart to get her out. Dimitro said, "That's it. No pulse. My darling is gone." I ran to the neighbors and called an ambulance. I warmed her cold hands. Blood started coming out, and I wiped it away.
The mother held on to hope until the very last moment that her daughter could be saved, and did everything possible for this. However, Jana was lying at the bottom of the elevator cabin, covered in blood and motionless.
The ambulance arrived, and the doctor said that Jana was already dead.
Sophia, someone was with her in the entryway. A man. She wasn't alone. There was a man here.
Near the elevator doors, I saw a phantom, some kind of figure. A tall man in a sailor's cap.
A gray-haired man, well over 50.
He's grabbing her. Is this a scene from the past?
As it turned out, Jana wasn't just afraid of getting stuck in the elevator. There was something else, another reason she didn't want to step inside.
She was about 14 or 15. Who was this man? Why was she so afraid?
When she was that age, she got into an elevator, and some man started harassing her.
He tried to rape her in the very same elevator where she later died. He was drunk or something and started harassing her, but thank God she ran out quickly. Of course, she was terrified after that and took the stairs more often.
So, for her family and friends, it remains a mystery. What made Jana step into the elevator that dreadful day?
There are no coincidences.
There's a phantom standing by her mother, one that could have caused harm.
Look, there was a man.
He was in the building.
He's too young, just a boy.
For the psychics, this isn't the first time they've seen the phantom of a young man. Who is he? And how is he connected to Jana's death? Could he be the same one they've been sensing since the start of the investigation?
A man is approaching me, a man I love deeply. He's showing me that this death is because of me. It's retribution. There was a line she crossed. Life was meant to go on. You understand?
What line did Jana cross? What could a 20-year-old girl have done to deserve this?
Have you ever heard cups clinking or something beeping?
She had a piggy bank, a stuffed toy, right here, in this room. When you drop a coin in, it talks. And at night, I would wake up to the sound of it talking.
Your daughter is sitting to your left.
Here?
I gave up my seat. She made me move.
I hope she forgives me for not protecting her. For not touching her belly.
You loved her and she still loves you.
A young man. Here?
The clairvoyant suddenly ran up the stairs without explaining anything.
He called me. The spirit of a man in a Marine uniform flew through me and rushed upward. I ran after him.
Incredible. But who is this man in uniform?
The man's spirit slipped away. He got scared. But Jana's spirit also disappeared along with him. How could we find out what really happened in that ill-fated elevator?
After going back downstairs, the clairvoyants worked in silence for a long time.
A man with hands covered in oil, in chains, a man pressing buttons. This is an accusation or suspicion or his guilt.
It turned out that on the day the tragedy happened, an electrician was in the building.
He had called for the same elevator in which Yana died, but it never arrived. Yana was inside.
As it turned out, the residents of the building had been complaining about this elevator for a long time.
You press the 5th floor, for example, and it takes you to the 12th. It works for 3 days. 2 or 4 days off.
As a result, a new elevator was installed in the building.
A new elevator, beautiful, all fancy. But from the very first days, it didn't work properly. And later it turned out that they had assembled it from old elevator parts, but passed it off as new. That's all.
And when the elevator broke down again, a mechanic was called.
But the mechanic couldn't start working because someone was stuck in the elevator, which prevented the cabin from being called.
That person was Yana, and by that time, she was already dead.
Something lured her out of the apartment. Some otherworldly force led her straight to death.
Why did this happen?
Are you ready?
I am ready for anything.
A murdered child. He was supposed to live at a very late term. This was between 4 and 6 months.
Yes. When my first husband died, I was pregnant.
I felt that the dying man deeply wanted this child. And it turns out that his wife went against his will.
He was in the 4th stage of cancer, and I simply had no other choice.
Olha realized that she wouldn't be able to raise the child alone and decided to have an abortion. She made this choice when the fetus was almost 5 months old.
It was a huge risk. But I had no other way out because my husband was bedridden, dying.
I never like to accuse people of anything, but here I can say, when blood is shed in a family, it is paid for with blood. One child was killed, another was born. And it always goes like this.
I understand everything.
At that moment, I saw the spirit of the sailor again. He was swinging a rope and shouting, "I took them." She wanted to be with me so badly. Now her wish has come true.
Who is this man? This is from youth, an unrequited love, deliberately consumed poison.
A man who drank poison? It seems Olha has no idea who this could be.
I've never heard of anything like that.
I felt that there were feelings between Yana and this man, but a long time ago, before her husband. Then they broke up. But why was this spirit so deeply hurt?
Olha couldn't figure out who it was, but we found someone who knows about this man. And what we heard was shocking.
Yana had a boyfriend. He was often away on trips. He was a sailor, and she was always afraid he would cheat on her. We would do fortune-telling about him, cast love spells. I have a fortune-telling book, and there was a spell in it, so we kept binding him to her. Very often.
That's why this spirit had a rope in his hands, a love spell. She bound him on an energetic level. That is extremely dangerous. Even if the bewitched person dies, the spell remains, and the deceased can pull the living into the afterlife.
What happened to the sailor whom Yana had loved in her youth remains unknown. Whether Yana's death was truly mystical, as the clairvoyants believe, no one can say for sure, but there is one intriguing detail. After her death, her friend had a strange dream. Yana appeared to her in a wedding dress and said she was getting married.
Yana appeared in my dream and said, "I want a ring." I called Aunt Olha and told her that it needed to be taken to the grave, and when they brought the ring there, that was it. The dream stopped.
For her mother, it's unbearable to accept such a tragic loss of her pregnant daughter. She will never see her again.